Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really break down the essential knowledge from key texts. Today, we're tackling something fundamental, aging itself. We're doing a deep dive into the theories behind it.
That's right. It's this constant human quest, isn't it? Like Ponce de Leon looking for the fountain of youth. Our goal today is to unpack what Chapter 2 of Basic Geriatric Nursing tells us about why we age, looking at the current scientific and social ideas.
Yeah, and it's crucial to remember, like you said, these are theories,
Hmm.
not proven facts. Aging, well, it's this really complex set of changes, right? Leading to loss of function, eventually death.
Exactly. And because we don't know the definitive why, we categorize them broadly into biologic theories, the physical stuff, genetics.
And psychosocial theories, the behavioral side, how we adjust socially.
Precisely. And just to set the stage, what's the limit? I mean, how long can we actually live? Well, the generally accepted maximum lifespan right now is considered 122 years.
122, wow.
So, some researchers are pushing that, suggesting maybe 125 is realistic, or maybe there's even no hard limit. It's debated.
But what is clear is that it's a mix of things, genetics, our environment, choices we make.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's start with maybe the most predetermined idea that it's all coded in our genes, like a deadline.
Right, the genetic theories. And the main one here is the programmed theory. The evidence, or at least the observation supporting it, is how life expectancy tends to run in families. You see it with identical twins, too.
Similar lifespans, suggesting a genetic link.
Exactly. This theory proposes we each have this kind of genetic program. It dictates a set number of times our cells can divide.
So, like a countdown when the divisions are up.
That's basically the idea. The program runs out, and you see these predictable changes across the board: thymus shrinking, menopause, gray hair, skin losing elasticity. And related to that is the gene theory. It's a bit more specific. It suggests certain harmful genes might get switched on later in life, limiting how long we live.
And things like the Human Genome Project must be huge for this, right? Finding those specific genes.
Absolutely critical. It gives us the tools to potentially identify those aging genes within the larger program.
Okay, that feels very internal clock-ish. But what about the theory based on just using up energy, the rate of living theory?
Yeah, the rate of living theory. It's a fascinating concept. It proposes that maybe all organisms have a finite amount of metabolic energy, like a set number of heartbeats or breaths.
Based on comparing animals.
Yeah, it came from observing large animals like elephants. They have slow metabolisms, live a long time. Compare that to, say, mice fast metabolism, short life.
So the implication is that how fast we live metabolically is a key factor, maybe even one we could influence.
That's the intriguing part, yes. Metabolism as a limiting factor.
Okay, so whether it's this preset genetic program or a limit on our metabolic burn rate, these theories feel a bit out of our hands, maybe.
A little fatalistic, perhaps.
Yeah. Is that why research also looks at damage that happens to us, things we might have more control over?
That's a good transition. We move from the idea of a program to the idea of damage accumulating. These are the cellular damage theories.
And the big one here is free radicals, right? I hear that term a lot.
It's definitely a major player. The free radical theory. So free radicals, they're basically unstable molecules, highly reactive. They get produced during normal metabolism, like just breathing, but also from outside stuff, radiation, pollution, things like that.
Unstable. So they're trying to become stable, and they mess things up in the process.
Exactly. They're like scavengers grabbing electrons from wherever they can. And in doing so, they damage cell membranes, DNA, even immune cells.
Okay, and this damage builds up over time.
That's the idea. An excessive buildup is thought to contribute not just to aging in general, but also to specific diseases we associate with age, like arthritis or diabetes.
You mentioned visible signs earlier, like age spots. Is that really free radical damage we can see?
It is, yeah. There's a specific type of free radical byproduct called lipofuscin. It accumulates as fatty pigment granules in cells. We see them on the skin as age spots. So it directly links that molecular damage to a visible sign of aging.
Wow. Okay. Now, how does the crosslink theory fit in? Is it related to free radicals?
It is often linked. The crosslink, or connective tissue theory, suggests that molecules in our body, especially in connective tissues and DNA, form these unwanted bonds, or crosslinks. Free radicals can contribute to those.
Bonds, like gluing things together that shouldn't be.
Kind of. Think about leather aging. It gets stiff, less flexible, cracks. That's similar to what happens in our tissues. These crosslinks reduce the tissue's elasticity, its ability to function properly or repair itself.
Which leads to wrinkles, dryness, that loss of balance in the skin.
Precisely. Those are classic signs explained well by the crosslink theory.
So if we bundle all this microscopic damage-free radicals, cross-links, does that just lead to the overall wear and tear theory? The body as a machine breaking down.
Yeah, the wear and tear theory is sort of the overarching metaphor for these damage accumulation ideas. It views the body like any machine parts wear out over time due to internal stress, external stress.
Simple concept, but I guess it resonates.
That does. And it's even supported by some complex mathematical models, like the reliability theory, which looks at failure rates in systems.
Okay, so we've got genetics, we've got cell damage, but what about the bigger systems, like the body's command centers?
Right. Maybe it's not just individual parts failing, but the coordination breaking down. This brings us to systemic failure theories, thinking about hormones, immunity.
Let's start with the hormones, the neuroendocrine theory.
This one focuses on the brain, specifically the hypothalamus. It's like the master regulator for our endocrine system glands, producing hormones for growth, metabolism, reproduction.
And the theory is it gets less accurate over time.
Essentially, yes. Less precise in regulating hormone levels. And the consequences are pretty visible signs of aging. Muscle mass decreases, body fat tends to increase, reproductive functions change, overall efficiency drops.
And then there's the immune system, the immunologic theory. Why do older people seem to get sick more easily?
Well, this theory suggests the immune system itself weakens with age. It's a process sometimes called immunosescence.
Makes sense. Weaker defenses mean more infections, maybe higher cancer risk?
Exactly. But there's a twist. While the system weakens against outside threats, it can also become dysregulated. So you see an increase in autoimmune diseases and allergies, where the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own tissues.
Huh. So it's weaker and makes more mistakes.
Kind of a double whammy, yeah.
Now, connecting back to lifestyle choices, there's research linking calories to aging, right? Is that a systemic thing too?
It bridges the gap, really. There's a growing body of research, mostly from animal studies so far, suggesting a link between calorie intake and lifespan. The hypothesis is that a diet high in nutrients but lower in calories combined with exercise might extend not just lifespan, but health span the period of healthy life.
So optimizing the fuel for the machine, essentially.
That's the idea, metabolic efficiency again.
Okay, so that covers the biological side, genes, cells, systems. But people age so differently psychologically and socially. That's where the psychosocial theories come in.
Absolutely. These theories aren't trying to explain the physical changes, but rather how people adapt and respond to aging. Why the experience varies so much.
And there's a really controversial one to start with, isn't there? The disengagement theory.
Oh, yes. Very controversial now. It basically proposed that aging involves this mutual withdrawal. Older people naturally pull back from societal roles, and society kind of lets them go or even encourages it.
And the controversial part was suggesting this is good for everyone involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That it was a beneficial, natural process for both the individual and society. It's widely criticized now because, well, it sounds a lot like justifying ageism, right? It ignores the value and potential of older adults.
Yeah, it feels very outdated. What's the counter-argument?
The much more accepted view today is the activity theory. It's pretty much the opposite.
Stay active, stay engaged.
That's the core idea. Successful aging, according to this theory, means maintaining activities, physical, mental, social, as much as possible. Staying involved helps maintain function, self-esteem, life satisfaction.
You see that anecdotally, don't you? Like with really old, vibrant people.
You do. Centenarians often report staying busy, learning new things, staying connected. Less time spent worrying, more time spent doing.
That makes intuitive sense. And this idea of staying engaged leads into the life course theories, which sound really practical, especially for nursing.
They are extremely relevant for healthcare. These theories define specific developmental tasks or challenges that people typically face in later life. They help us understand the psychosocial journey.
And Erikson is a big name here, right? Integrity versus despair.
Erikson, yes.
Yeah.
His final stage of psychosocial development, it's all about the life review.
Looking back, summing things up.
Exactly. The individual reflects on their life. Did it have meaning? Was it well lived? If yes, the outcome is a sense of integrity, wisdom, acceptance. If no, the result can be despair, regret, bitterness.
That's profound, but maybe a bit abstract for day-to-day care. Are there more concrete tasks?
Yes, definitely. Other theorists provide more specific checklists, you could say. Havighurst, for example. He outlined 6 key tasks for late life. Things like adjusting to declining health and strength, dealing with retirement and possibly lower income, coping with the death of a spouse.
Very practical challenges.
Establishing links with one's own age group, adapting social roles, and finding suitable living arrangements, very concrete.
And Newman, similar idea.
Newman's theory also lists key tasks. Coping with physical changes is one. Redirecting energy to new roles, maybe grandparenting, maybe dealing with widowhood, accepting one's life, similar to Erikson, and importantly, developing a personal perspective on death.
These really map out the psychosocial landscape for healthcare providers.
They absolutely do. They help nurses and others identify potential problems and support older adults in navigating these adjustments.
Okay, there's one more major psychosocial theorist mentioned, Jung. His focus seems a bit different, more inward.
Carl Jung, yes. He saw development as continuing throughout life, but he proposed a shift in focus in the second half of life, moving away from the outward focus of youth and midlife career, social status, achieving goals towards a more inward focus.
Searching for the true self.
That's a good way to put it. A search for meaning, self-understanding, maybe spirituality. Jung believed successful aging involved this inward journey, achieving self-acceptance regardless of external validation or past achievements. It's about inner balance.
Interesting. So we've got all these theories, biologic, psychosocial. How does this translate into practice, especially with all the anti-aging stuff marketed out there?
Ah, yes. The complementary approaches. This is where we need real caution. People are understandably looking for ways to slow or reverse aging, but the evidence, well, it's often lacking, or even points to harm.
Consultation with a doctor is key then.
Absolutely essential. Let's look at a few common ones mentioned in the text. First, antioxidant therapy.
Taking lots of vitamins like A, C, E to fight those free radicals.
That's the claim. And antioxidants from food, fruits, vegetables are definitely healthy. But taking high-dose supplements, the evidence for effectiveness in slowing aging just isn't there. And some studies suggest high doses might even be harmful.
Okay, so stick to the fruits and veggies. What about hormone therapy? Things like DHEA or HGH?
This is another really popular area. The idea is to replace hormones that naturally decline with age. But the source material is quite clear here. There's little solid evidence that therapies like DHEA or human growth hormone actually provide the anti-aging benefits claimed.
And potential downsides.
Yes, a significant potential for harm. These therapies can have serious side effects and usually require close medical supervision. The takeaway is likely more risk than proven benefit for general anti-aging.
Then there are general supplements, herbs like ginseng or echinacea.
This is a tricky area because these are often not regulated by the FDA in the same way drugs are.
Meaning quality can vary, purity, you don't know what you're getting.
Exactly. And maybe even more importantly, they can have serious interactions with prescription medications people might be taking for other conditions. And again, no real proof of effectiveness for slowing aging.
High risk, unproven benefit. Seems like a pattern.
It does.
Lastly, what about that calorie-restricted diet we touched on earlier?
Proven beneficial in some animal studies, yes. But applying severe calorie restriction to humans is really difficult. There's a high risk of malnutrition, which, ironically, increases the risk of disease and death. So the goal for humans remains balanced. Adequate nutrition, not severe restriction.
Okay, so the magic bullets seem risky or unproven. Bringing it all together then, what are the main takeaways for nursing? So what?
It really boils down to two main applications, reflecting the two types of theories. The biologic theories, genetics, cell damage, system failures, they really underscore the importance of promoting healthy lifestyles. Good health maintenance, avoiding environmental hazards where possible. Our choices do impact the wear and tear, even if there's a genetic component.
Makes sense. And the psychosocial theories.
They guide nurses in supporting the person's adjustment to aging, recognizing when someone is struggling with those developmental tasks, maybe life review, or coping with loss, or finding new roles. It's about intervening supportively, helping people navigate those psychosocial challenges successfully, using frameworks like Erikson's or Havighurst's to assess needs.
So understanding the why biologically helps promote physical health, and understanding the how psychosocially helps support mental and social well-being.
That's a great summary.
We've covered a huge amount today, from, free radicals attacking cells to the idea of a genetic program ticking down.
All the way to theories about staying active versus disengaging and that deep inner work of finding integrity in late life.
It's a complex picture.
And we have to keep saying it.
Yeah.
These are still theories. We need ongoing research, unbiased research, to figure out which ones, or likely which combination, really explains aging. Only then can we hope to develop truly safe and effective ways to potentially slow the process and, more importantly, extend healthy living.
Right.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, our listeners, to consider. Given the significant risks and lack of proof surrounding many anti-aging supplements and hormone therapies, how does understanding the immunologic theory, weakening and dysregulation, and the neuroendocrine theory, loss of precise control, challenge our desire to just jump in and fix things? If our body's own complex control systems become less reliable with age, are they perhaps too delicate, too interconnected to safely override with broad interventions? Something to think about, that balance between what might be genetically influenced and the power we genuinely have through our choices. Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive.